So from here we can see a bit of the beauty of the mosque, that pink dome. And this is not a Freemason society. Those are the clothes you wear if you're visiting Putra Mosque, and if you don't have hijab, so the ladies wear these sort of things. I'm thinking of someone called Melvin Bonnen, a Freemason, who I know, buddy of mine, old buddy, from when he used to be in London. So Melvin, you can tell us if Freemasons dress like this. So a lot of Chinese tourists, even Muslims too. The proper Chinese Muslims that I met while I was here are from China. I didn't meet like proper full Chinese Muslim from Malaysia. Met a lot of Chinese people, but not Chinese Muslim from Malaysia. A friend of mine says that it's because they're mixed with Malay, so it might be hard to know. They're actually hybrids or mixed race. When I say hybrid, I don't say it in a racist way, I say it in a good way. So no one stopped us yet with the bags. Let's try. Let's keep going. Look at the minara. Minaret's quite tall. But I came to see the mosque, but I can't help it. These Freemason looking people look so cute.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
And don't forget, now and again, just capture the Freemason.
Wait, Dad.
Yeah?
Are you gonna make a video about this?
Yeah, of
Do you
course.
wanna do your thumbnail?
Huh? I don't even know if I'm allowed in here. It had a no entry sign, but it was in the general direction of the lady, where the lady said to make wudu. The door that didn't have a no entry sign was shut. So anyway, I went in there. There's like a toilet and a small place where you can do your ablution, your wudu. But it seems like reserved for important people. So back in the rain, I have to scoot across from here to the entrance of the mosque without slipping on the marble. So ladies section on that side. Men and women sections are segregated. That's a tourist section. So functioning mosques, so tourists are welcome, but like in a way that respects people who are praying in the mosque. I think it's a good balance. Some mosques don't allow tourists at all in some countries. But here you have that section. I think it's lovely that they get to see it. Get to see a mosque up close and personal. So they know we're not hiding nothing, not hiding anything illicit, anything that can go kaboom. We don't have missile silos under the mosque or in the minaret. We're not plotting to take over the world from here. So what I can tell you about mosques in Malaysia is that there's no restriction in terms of the Imam or anyone praying for Palestine. Unlike many Arab countries where the Imam can get arrested if he prays aloud, with the congregation for Palestine. In many of the Arab countries, basically it has to be allowed by the state. When politically it suits them to pray for Palestine, then they allow the Imams, authorize them to mention a brief dua, prayer for Palestine. But in Malaysia, in fact, they make detailed prayer for Palestine. Detailed. Not just one line. Not just, may God save Palestine or something. They go into detail about even about the genociders who are subjecting Palestine to the genocide. So this is good, more freedom. I'm not saying Malaysia is perfect, as I always say, no country is perfect. But there's a bit more freedom here than in many other Muslim countries. And there are elections and democracy. So basically where people have a say, can give their allegiance, give their bay'ah to the leader, or don't give their bay'ah to the leader. So refreshing, you don't feel like you're in a prison. Also, mosques stay open. They're open like all the time. Like, this is not only for tourists. There's people praying in the front. If you want to pray, you want to pray. In many Arab countries, you'll be rushed out of the mosque. Once the prayer is done, that's it, you have to leave. Here, the mosque is how a mosque is meant to be. Like a community center. When you feel like you're in need of some, spiritual upliftment, you can come here, you can pray, you can read the Quran. You can, just chill. People sleep, even just have a nap, afternoon nap in the mosque. It's not an empty shell how it can be and how it is in some countries. Beautiful big buildings in some countries. Like this, magnificent like this, but only open for 15 minutes of the prayer. Not in Malaysia. In Malaysia, they're open. And that's similar to what I know of in my country, South Africa, and also in my adopted country, the United Kingdom as well. But of course, here it's so special because you got these beautiful structures, We're a bit struggling in the United Kingdom. We got very basic structures for mosques. There's that rain. If you rewind to the beginning of the video, there was no rain, it was dry, it was sunny, and suddenly the heavens opened up. But this is Malaysia for you, this is Southeast Asia for you, Thailand as well would be like this. So, I spoke about some controversial topics while I was in the mosque, and I think people without a background, without knowing what's going on in the world and especially in the Muslim world, won't understand some of what I had to say about, would wonder why are mosques in some parts of the world like just shut. They're only open for the prayer and then quickly closed. Well, the answer to that is that many of the dictators in the world, those who are ruling their countries by force, they don't want people to be in the mosque beyond the prayer time because they are scared. They are really in fear of people sitting in the mosque and talking about the situation of their country and saying, oh, this is not good. We're under a dictator, we're suffering. Our dictator is normalizing relations with Israel, who hates the Muslim world so much, who's engaged in a genocide against Palestinians. So the dictators don't want the people to sit and talk about topics related to their own countries and their own poor leadership and the fact that they are bought off by certain superpowers in the world and just keeping themselves in power for the benefit of themselves and their families and not for the people. They don't want people to talk about that on a local level, and they don't want people to talk about the issues related to people in other countries, well, such as Palestine. So this is the reason why mosques are closed so quickly, these two reasons. But in Malaysia they're open. So Malaysia, they're more confident in themselves. The governments are more confident. They don't have to repress people to remain in power. Not saying they're perfect, but comparatively, compared to many of the dictators, they're much better. They know politically you have to work with the superpowers, and you can't totally, go against the superpowers openly and in a way that can jeopardize your country. So they're very political about it. They support Palestine. They support not only Palestine but the affairs of other oppressed peoples in the way they can without antagonizing the superpowers. But their intention is good towards their own, I would hope towards their own people and towards people in other countries who are oppressed and so on. So they just know you got to play the game. Whereas in other countries, the dictators, not only are they playing the game, they've if it was a chessboard, they've broken the chessboard, they've burnt the chessboard, and they've put themselves in as king. There's no one else. There's not, there's no other players in the game. It's me in power, no one else. And I can do what I want, as they say. I can normalize with Israel. I can normalize with people who are doing genocide. I can oppress my people. I can prevent my people from practicing their religion, even in a country where the majority of people are Muslims. And I can oppress my people economically as well, steal from them, just loot the riches of the country for me and my own family. So this is the attitude. But yeah, to cut a long story short, Malaysia is not like that.